All right, let's dive right in. If you're an ambitious young professional in Africa today, there's a new rule you absolutely have to know. Digital visibility? It's not just part of the game anymore, it is the game. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why it's become the most critical factor for your economic survival and ultimately, your success.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Think about it. You could have the most brilliant, game-changing idea, but if you're invisible online, it's like you're shouting into a hurricane. The right people, the investors, the partners, the employers you're trying to reach, they're just not going to hear you. It's that simple. Okay, let this number sink in for a second. 70%. That's the percentage of sub-Saharan Africa that's under the age of 30. I mean, that is an incredible, unbelievable wave of talent and pure energy. But, and this is a big but, it also points to a huge challenge.
And let's zoom out even further. By 2030, which is right around the corner, young Africans will make up a staggering 42% of all the youth on the entire planet. Let that register. The competition you're facing, it's not just in your city or your country anymore. This is a global race for attention, for opportunity, and that field is getting more crowded by the minute.
So here's the bottom line, the thing you have to understand. Your skills, your raw talent, that's just the ticket to get into the stadium. It gets you in the door, but it won't win you the game. In a world this competitive, this connected, just being good at what you do, well, it's just not enough to overcome the massive handicap of being invisible.
And this brings us to what you could call the talent paradox. On one hand, you've got this incredible wave of potential. On the other, a massive wall of competition. So the big question, the million-dollar question really, is how do you stand out from the crowd?
Well, the answer is digital visibility. And let's be super clear here. This is not some fluffy, soft skill. It's not just a marketing buzzword you hear. No, this is your core competitive advantage. It's about strategically building your credibility, creating access to opportunities, and, crucially, making your career resilient for the long haul.
Okay, so how does this actually work? What does it look like in the real world? Well, it all starts with something we'll call the credibility dividend. Because here's the rule of the new economy. Opportunity always follows trust.
For decades, the CV was king. It was the gatekeeper. But today, let's be honest, a CV is just a piece of paper. It's a claim. Your digital identity, though, that's the new proof. Your active LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, those thoughtful articles you write, that's a living, breathing testament to what you can actually do. And the best part, it works for you 24/7, even while you sleep.
And this right here is the game-changing transformation. For a recruiter sitting in London or New York, if you have zero digital footprint, you're a risk. You're a low-trust variable. But if you have a strong, professional online presence, man, that flips the script completely. You go from being a risk to being a de-risked, high-value asset that they can confidently say yes to.
So, once you've built up that credibility, that's when the magic starts to happen. Doors just start to open. Let's talk about how that trust you've built translates directly into real, tangible, global opportunities.
Just take a look at this. The local job market? Yeah, it's growing, and that's great. But now, compare that to the line for the global gig economy. It's explosive. It's almost vertical. This is where the world's opportunities are gathering, and there's only one way to get in, through a digital door.
And the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. We're talking about a market projected to be worth over $2 trillion. That's trillion with a T. This isn't some small niche thing. It's like a whole new economic continent is being built online, and it's creating paths for African professionals to compete on the world stage, often without ever having to leave home.
So where is all this happening? It's happening right here, on platforms like LinkedIn, Upwork. These are the new global marketplaces. And here's the critical thing to remember. Recruiters and clients on these platforms aren't booking flights to Lagos or Nairobi to hunt for talent. They're searching online. If you're not there to be found, then to them, you might as well not exist.
But look, getting noticed once isn't the real goal here. The real prize is building a career that can take a hit, that can adapt to whatever comes next, and that is all about building strategic resilience.
And we need to get really clear on a key difference here. Virality versus visibility. Going viral, that's a flash in the pan. It's a spike of attention, lightning in a bottle. Super exciting for sure, but it fades just as fast as it comes. Strategic visibility is the long game.
It's the slow, steady, purposeful building of your digital presence. It's not about one viral hit. It's about being consistently, reliably relevant.
And you do this by building what we call digital assets. So, what are they? Think of it like this. First, an engaged network of people you actually talk to and help. Second, a library of content, articles, projects, whatever, that acts as proof of your expertise. And third, and this is so important, platforms you own, like a personal website or a newsletter. Why? Because they don't depend on the whims of some algorithm. Think of these assets as the insurance policy for your entire career.
Now let this one really sink in. With things like AI changing industries overnight, skills get outdated faster than ever. Your talent is literally useless if nobody knows you have it. Your visibility, that's the delivery system. It's how you constantly broadcast your evolving value to the market, making sure you stay relevant and always in demand.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the why. Now let's get to the how. It's time to get practical with your action blueprint. This is the part where you can start making real changes, like today.
So here it is, a simple 5-step plan to get you started. Number 1, audit your credibility. And I'm serious, pause this and Google yourself right now, see what comes up. Number 2, define your value. Get it down to one clear, powerful sentence. 3, add value. Don't just post stuff, create content that actually helps and educates people. 4, build your network, but do it strategically. And finally, number 5, always be investing in the skills that the global market is actually paying for. And just in case you're wondering why this is so urgent, let's look at the data. That whole defining your value step, well, a whopping 87% of recruiters are on LinkedIn making decisions based on exactly that. And creating purposeful content? That's what pulls you out of the pile of resumes and turns you from just another job seeker into someone they see as a thought leader.
I love this quote. It's the perfect call to action, really. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. You're not just trying to participate in the market. You're trying to dominate it. The goal isn't to be just another name on a list. It's to become the person they have to call. And that whole journey, it starts and ends with how visible you are.
Because ultimately, that's what this is all about, right? It's about building a digital presence that's so powerful, so credible, and so strategic that your success, your impact, it stops being about luck. It stops being about chance. It becomes inevitable.
So I'm going to leave you with this one simple question to really think about. Your digital presence, right now, is it an accident? Is it just something that's kind of happened over the years? Or is it intentional? Is it something you are actively and purposefully building? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to define your entire professional future.